Welcome everyone, Tactical Itch here, and today we are back to the battlefields of Total Warhammer multiplayer. Now in this patch, the Lizardmen got a lot of new toys with their Slime Mage priests getting their missing laws of magic, and today we'll be showcasing one of those. Yes, indeed, we are taking the Slime Mage Priests of Metal coming in with Plague of Rust and Searing Doom, two very cheap and versatile spells for the lore of magic. Anyways, for the rest of the battlefield, we have the Saurus in the front line here mixed in with a couple red-crested skinks and reinforced by a couple feral Bastillodons as well to break through enemy front lines. And at the back we have a ton of missiles, 5 skink cohorts with their javelins ready to unleash devastating firepower upon my opponents. You might have seen my showcase of the synergy of Plague of Rust and javelins in a previous short video. And today indeed we'll be applying it in practice. On the flanks there we have a ton of mobility, 2 feral cold ones on one flank and supported by the cold one spear riders, same on the other flank. That's basically it for my army build, and for our opponent, the High Elves with their staunch line of spears, they have of course a staunch line of spears backed up by a bunch of archers. I was worried that they won't be taking armored units, but here we are having a Star Dragon. A powerful melee piece with devastating breath attacks, and of course, the heavy armor is the perfect subject for us to test our Plague of Rust and Javelin combo on. To make sure such an expensive melee piece can earn its worth, my opponent brought 2 sources of healing. The Lore Master of Hoeth with the Earthblood and Spirit Leech, and we have Alario the Radiant coming in with Tempest and Star of Avalon. Now, on the flanks with the mobility, my opponent is going for a similar deployment. 2 relatively cheap mobility, the Alarian Reavers, supported by a more expensive piece, the Silver Helms with shields. Same on the other side, 1 less Alarian Reavers, I assume they ran out of funds. And that's it for the army builds. Now let's get the battle started. My opponent does have the range advantage with their archers, so I'll be moving my units to the flanking position, hoping to deal with their cavalry and breach into the back lines here, as my javelins do not have that range or volume of fire with their limited ammo at 3 shots per unit. They really can't put out that persistent damage to counteract enemy archers, so here we are with the red-crested skinks and Saurus rushing forward into the staunch line of spears. The Saurus warriors are being targeted by the archers, which is not the worst thing in the world. They probably should have targeted the red-crested skinks instead, because the Saurus warriors do have more armor and they do have a bronze shield. Anyways, the red-crested skinks are charging into the spears and starting to hack them down, while the Star Dragon trying to get some cheeky breath attack onto my Saurus warrior, but then he got a little too close, falling victim to an overcast version of Plague of Rust, down to 24 armor, being hit by that minus 66 Plague of Rust. After all, the Slime Mage Priest does have a bit more of magic intensity. I believe it is from the Greater Arcane Conduit, yes, adding 10% of spell mastery, ripping away even more armor from the Star Dragon, and as you can see here, the javelins are obliterating his hit points. On the flanks there, I have dumped in my feral cold ones onto the Alarian Reavers. My opponent's micro is slightly slacking, allowing me to get a charge onto their units. You can see that the Silver Helms and the Alarian Reavers are all tied down while I've got some units in the backline. One of the Saurus warriors managed to slip through the gaps of the staunch line of spear, getting on top of the archers, and the banishment is ripping them apart as well. The feral Bastillodon managed to push straight through enemy front line using its mass and also disrupting another archer unit, while there is another feral cold one unit now is shutting down another archer. At the back there, we have the Star Dragon dropping onto the ground, getting healed by the Star of Avalon for a bit there, but now falling to a volley of javelins. I'll be dropping in another Plague of Rust upgraded version as the javelin comes in with their Overwatch fire, stripping away even more hit points from this very expensive high elf monster. Alario earlier was fighting some red crested, so she was not in the position to disrupt the javelins, and the Star Dragon suffered as a result. They're trying to go for a snipe against the Slime Mage Priest of Metal, and I prematurely activating the Aura of Quetzal, meaning that the melee defense buff will also wear off early. And without the defense buff, the Star Dragon was able to make more consistent contact against the Slime Mage, taking chunks of his health away. Still, his hit points is dropping rapidly as more and more javelins come in. Alario the Radiant did interrupt one of the Skink Hordes from shooting, but the Skink Hordes right now has guard mode on, so they're still firing despite being in melee, and at the back there, archers being bombarded by Searing Doom, stripping away even more of their health as more and more lizard infantry are going to deal with them. My opponent's front line is basically getting breached by the more cost-efficient Saurus Warriors and red-crested Skinks, allowing me to overwhelm the high elf back line with my numbers advantage swarming their positions. One of the archers regrouped, but now with the red-crested and the Feral Coans nearby, they will be chased off, while the Star Dragon actually got routed off for a bit there as the Koan Spear Riders charged in. However, I do not really have that kind of ammo to keep shooting anymore, with only one unit of Skink Hordes having one volley left. Another breath attack comes in, but with the spread out formation of the Koan Spear Riders for now, they are not actually taking that much damage. On the far side there, this Feral Koan has been fighting 2 units of cavalry the whole time, but without getting the charge bonus, the High Elf Cavalry actually could not really efficiently deal with these Feral Koans with their 90 armor. So very nice cost-efficient distraction for me. And in the front line there, I'm almost done with all the spear infantry. It is pretty much down to the single entities here, as my units are basically chasing off all the scattered high elf forces. The archers are probably gonna get routed off by the Feral Coans. There are some regrouped archers here, but then again, Feral Coans are nearby to ready to chase them down. As you can see here, they will be moving on to the next archer despite being rampaged. Over here, a very nice Searing Doom blasting this blob of High Elf Cavalry. Look at how many bodies on the ground there. Searing Doom has really great splash damage, so it is amazing against blobbed up enemy troops. However, still, the Star Dragon is still fighting valiantly and is now trying to conquer my Koan Spear Riders. The Star of Avalon keeps his hit points high, and I do not really have a good way to deal with him right now other than just surround it with the Koan Spear Riders. And the Feral Bastillodon is also charging in, giving him a headbutt. Not the most impressive charge, but damage is damage, stripping away even more of the single entity's HP. While over here, the Lord Master of Hoeth is one tough cookie to crack, as I do not really have a good way to deal with this armored foot character. The red-crested Skinks are extremely low in health and might just get routed by the fear on Alario's Eagle. That one last Skink Horde who still has ammo is now firing the last shot into Alario the Radiant, but unfortunately, a lot of their shots are missing due to the distance, and with only one volley, they can't really do that much damage. I'll be throwing in more Koan Spear Riders, hoping to pin down Alario, while at the back there, a regrouped unit of Silverhelms slams straight into the back of my other unit of Koan Spear Riders. With the Silverhelms charge bonus and the Star Dragon munching the Raptors, the Koan Spear Riders will not hold for long. The characters have also been doing work, especially the Lore Master being a melee expert, beating back the Red Crested. I'm scrambling all the resources I can get to grind out these single entities now that the Red Crested are gone. Koan Cavalry, Bastillodon, Skink Infantry, even the Slime Mage Priest of Metal will be jumping into combat, using his puny 320 weapon strength to slowly chipping away the health of Alario the Radiant. He did put in a couple hits on Alario, but here comes the Star Dragon, and the Slime Mage needs to back off. Aura of Quetzal is boosting his melee defense, helping him mitigating some of the incoming damage, while I'll be throwing in some Koan Spear Riders who has regrouped from routing, and will be surrounding the Star Dragon, also dropping in a Plague of Rust to reduce his armor, making the incoming damage a bit more for the High Elves, and more importantly, activating that lore passive of the Metal Magic. Metal Shifting, boosting weapon damage for all melee units, and you can see that the Star Dragon will be taking some damage being surrounded by enemy units. The Lord Master actually got routed by the constant anti-infantry, anti-armor headbutts of the Feral Bastillodon, and he will be on the run. It's just a quick terror route though, so the Lord Master without anything pursuing him will return soon. Here comes another charge of the Silverhelms, wrecking another unit of Koan Spear Riders who I was attempting to keep in the fight with the cold-blooded effect. The Slime Mage once again throws himself into melee combat. This is definitely a big mistake, as the Star Dragon is right next to him and is now switching over to a toad-based diet. The Slime Mage Priest is stuck in the blob while the Star Dragon is biting off chunks of his HP. The Star Dragon's HP is getting low, but so is my Slime Mage Priest, and with another hit, the Slime Mage Priest is dead. That put a dent in my unit's leadership and took away my magic support. The balance of power is in my favor though, so it is not that bad. The single entity blob still has a chance of clutching it out with enough healing, but with the Lore Master routing and also spending his magic on Spirit Leeching, That might not be the case here. I'm not sure what he did. Did he even overcast it? Yep, he overcast it. Big mistake there, costing the Lore Master a bit of HP with that overcast damage. And as you can see here, that was enough to induce a rout on the already tattered Lore Master of Hoeth. Honestly, an Earthblood just to heal up Alario and the Lore Master himself would have been better, because now Alario and the Star Dragon are left alone. And the Alario the Radiant is actually isolated a bit here, as the Star Dragon tries to extract himself from the fight for Psycho Charging and then allowing the Bastillodon to deliver a headbutt onto Alario the Radiant, pushing the High Elf into army losses and winning me the game. GG to my opponent Falcon, definitely a very valiant fight, a few mistakes for sure, but still, that single entity core is very strong. If not for the Plague of Rust and Javelin combo, I would have lost the game. Now, the Javelins didn't get the most amazing damage, 500 basically earning back their cost, but still, this one getting over 1000 worth of damage value, basically carrying the game for me with all that Plague of Rust damage boost for them, stripping away their target's armor, allowing their Javelins to do a lot more damage. For the rest of the armies here, the Feral Coat ones, some of them did pretty well. The other one, this one actually is almost full health, but I think I forgot them on the edges of battlefield. The Red Crested Skinks did some pretty good damage, chasing off the routed archers and pressuring the High Elf backline. The Bastillodons did okay, mostly there to disrupt enemy backline and provide a little bit of armor piercing, while the Saurus traded well into the High Elf Spear Infantry, and after that pushing the Archer backline as well. Cohen Spear Riders with their anti-large armor piercing did some pretty good damage overall, and of course the Slime Age Priest of Metal using the Searing Doom to bombard some of these High Elf blobs, stripping away the HP from these pointy ears. For the High Elf army, of course, Star Dragon attempted to carry, even getting to its heal cap, but because of all that burst damage from the Plague of Rust and Javelin combo, it couldn't actually earn back its cost. Alario and the Lore Master both put up a very valiant fight, especially in the late game here, but the rest of the High Elf army was not quite able to trade well into the Lizardmen numerous infantry frontline, and as a result, the Archer line got pushed back and wasted a lot of that missile fire potential. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed this multiplayer action, and if you want to see more Total War Warhammer multiplayer content, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich, signing out.